me now review the process of streaming linked shockwave audio and MP3 audio files with Director 11. Streaming is the process of adding the audio data to a memory buffer or cache until enough of the data has been stored in that memory cache so that it can play back without being interrupted. The advantage of streaming audio playback is that the user doesn't have to wait as long. They don't have to wait for the entire audio file to download before it starts to play back. Now, Director will stream only linked audio files. Linked files are not actually within the Director, the dir file, so it keeps your Director files smaller and more efficient. It will only link shockwave audio and MP3 audio files for streaming. Director streams sounds that have been compressed with either of these two compression formats. Now, to create an external shockwave audio file requires some special tools, so let me review that process. I'm assuming that you know how to create an MP3 file for streaming. Now, if you have the Windows version of Director, you can select Extras from the main menu, convert Wave to SWA, and then you'll notice here in this dialog that you can choose a folder for these converted files. Now, because these assets are linked and they're not part of the Director file, you need to be very careful where you're saving them. The ideal place is the same folder where this Director file resides. So to add a file for conversion, click on the Add Files button. Browse to the location of your WAV file. This will only work with WAV files, will not work with MP3 files. You can't convert MP3 files to shockwave audio, but you can WAVs. Click on Open. You have a bit rate setting, 160 down to 8. I'm going to choose one in the middle. Accuracy, normal or high. Convert stereo to mono is usually a good idea. And then prompt before overwriting files, I'm going to click on Convert. And then Director goes ahead and converts that WAV file to a shockwave audio file, a specialty audio format. Now, if you're on the Mac, you'll need to use Peak or one of the other sound editing tools that are available and support shockwave audio. You'll not be able to convert your audio files to the shockwave audio format on the Mac. Now, I should point out that converting WAV files to the shockwave audio format, or the SWA format, does not compress files that have already been compressed with the IMA technology. IMA is a compression codec that yields about 4:1 compression. Compare that with SWA or MP3, which is better than 10:1 compression. Now, to stream a linked shockwave audio or MP3 sound in Director, select from the main menu, Insert, Media Element, Shockwave Audio. That'll bring up the SWA cast member properties dialog where you can play the file, make sure that it plays and everything sounds okay. Here, possible, and then test your playback. Then click OK. Notice that there is my SWA sound cast member. Now, you're going to make two mistakes if you make mistakes here. The first is you'll forget that although this looks as if it is a cast member, this is a linked asset, and you must keep track of this Scream 2 SWA file that this icon represents. Second mistake you'll make is that you need to play this back, you'll need to drag this onto one of these sprite channels, not on one of the dedicated audio channels here. In fact, notice that it won't even let me, Director will not let me drop this into one of the preset audio channels. Instead, this is just a sprite placeholder right there that represents the sound object that's linked, in this case to my hard drive, in the same folder as this Director file. You'll also want to extend this audio file through all the frames in which the sound should play, or you can go up here to the tempo channel. If you don't see your tempo area, open up the effects section of the score, double click on the tempo channel, and you have a setting here, wait for cue point, and you'll notice that actually I've got two versions of this file there, and Director picked up both of them, and I can set that from next to end. So what will happen here, go ahead and delete that one, is that Director will wait right here in frame 47 or so until this entire audio file that's being linked and streamed is finished playing. So that will conclude this section of the tutorial on working with audio in Director 11. That brings us to the next section of this tutorial, using digital video in your Director 11 projects.